And welcome. My name is Erica and I am the owner of Comfort Keepers Berry. Today I am joined by some wonderful resources to help spread the word about senior malnutrition. The incidence of our senior population visiting food banks and having limited access to meals continues to increase every single day. We're here today to provide our seniors with accessible, easy, and healthy meals to help with brain health.
When I was invited to come in, the cooking program that they're talking about is about brain healthy foods, and the recipe that they're going to be sharing is a Mediterranean recipe, which is proven to be good for your brain. And we do a lot of education around different things that people can do to lower their chances of developing dementia by taking good care of their brain. And one of those components is eating a healthy diet. So this would be an excellent example of a healthy diet.
And today we're going to do a Mediterranean chicken single skillet dish. So we're going to put a little bit of olive oil in here, turn the pan up to medium-high. Olive oil is really great for your brain. It improves functionality, and it has been proven to help slow the onset of Alzheimer's. We're going to heat that up a little bit. And then we're going to take the chicken here. I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper on it. I like to use Himalayan sea salt myself. Not too much, keeping in mind that low sodium diets. Some pepper. And then we're going to put some oregano on it. Oregano is fantastic stuff, and it helps improve concentration, helps you sleep better, and it has been proven to treat depression. There we go. A little bit of that on there, and then it gives a fantastic flavor as well, which is what we all really want, I think. Turn it all face down. So we're going to brown that up a little bit there. Put some oregano on this side. Now you can hear the chicken sizzling. All right. Lots of oregano for flavor. Going like that. Brown both sides, and then we have lots of other ingredients that we're going to put in here. Tomatoes, red onions, feta cheese, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about all of the different ingredients so that you can get an idea of what type of health benefits that they have for brain health. Because we are kind of doing this for Alzheimer Society, and then overall brain health and awareness for seniors in the community. Let it brown a little bit, and then we're going to add about a half a cup of white wine. We're going to free pour the wine though, and I probably don't need to tell you a lot about the benefits of wine, but it is very good for your heart, it's very good for your brain. So we're going to add a little bit of that in there in a second, as soon as this gets hot enough. And we're going to reduce that wine by about half, which should just take a couple of minutes. And then we'll add a few more ingredients in here. So now we can add the white wine. Get that boiling a little bit. And like I said, we're going to reduce that to about half. And then we're going to add a few more ingredients in there. So we're going to add some chicken stock in after, which is right here. And chicken stock is really good for you. It's made with bone marrow. So it has excellent source of fatty acids. It's really great for your heart. And what's good for your heart is good for your brain. And it improves overall brain functionality. We're also going to put a little bit of lemon in. Use the juice of 1 lemon. I got my sticker on here still. And lemon is absolutely fantastic for you. It has negatively charged ions that help improve the blood or oxygen to the brain. Okay, got that reducing. We kind of just want to boil it, maybe flip it once in the wine. Okay, so in with the chicken stock. I'm going to go in with the lemon juice. So we're going to get this boiling a little bit, and then we're going to put the lid on it and reduce it down to medium. And then it's going to cook for about 8 minutes. We're going to flip it once after 4. We're going to use some parsley in this, which is a fantastic herb. Adds nice color, nice flavor, and it also has an apigenin in it, which creates cells that help carry messages around your brain. So, very good for you. Looks great in the dish and has a nice earthy flavor. And then the tomatoes here, like I said, are also a great antioxidant. And then add a really nice flavor to the dish as well. The tomatoes, when it goes in the green, will give a really nice, big, wonderful, vibrant color, which is what we want. Lots of Mediterranean dishes always have lots of color in them. So usually you eat with your eyes before you eat with your mouth. And visually good food gives people a better appetite. All right. Parsley, and we're gonna add a little bit of red onion in as well. When we do this, red onion is a great antioxidant. It's absolutely good for you. It increases blood flow. It does lots of wonderful things for your brain. We're going to put a little bit of feta cheese in there at the end for a little bit of color and make it all look very pretty. So we are now going to add the rest of what we were going to put in here, which is the onions. And this is where you're really going to see the prettiness of the dish. And then we're going to kind of let this cook for another 3 minutes. And it should be ready to go. There we go. Got all those in there. All right. And some tomatoes. Into the dish, move them around a little bit. Good looking tomatoes. I am going to turn that up a little bit because it's not cooking quite as fast as I like. Okay, and the black olives, which we talked about there, lowers some blood cholesterol and then is nice and pretty in the dish and gives a good flavor. There we go. Just toss that out, and then we will go in with the parsley. And there is a nice looking Mediterranean chicken dish with lots of color. And then right at the end of the dish, we're going to put some crumbled feta cheese into it. And feta cheese, although a little bit high in sodium again, has lots of calcium and vitamin B in it. And it actually has more calcium than any other cheese does. So very good for you as far as the cheese goes. It's a great dairy product. And we are just about done here. Okay, get my display plate. Put a little bit of couscous on that for the last couple seconds of the show here. All right, that's looking pretty good now. We're going to steal a couple pieces of chicken out of this, put it right on the plate for a nice little display, and then I'm going to get my, just so that I don't get too much. I know where my spoons are, they're right here. Put a little bit of that on top, make it look nice and pretty. And that there is a nice, simple Mediterranean, one skillet Mediterranean chicken. Serve up a little bit of appetizers for everybody so everyone can try a little bit of this. Yeah, and then we're gonna pass it over to Eve, and she is gonna put together something wonderful for you guys as well.
Thank you, Bessette.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And there's some napkins on the table as well.
Oh, thank you, darling.
You're welcome.
So lovely.
You're welcome. I hope you enjoy it.
I see you will.
Thank you. Oh, yummy. So good.
Did it turn out okay?
Wonderful.
Very nice.
Very nice, thanks. Nice texture, nice appearance, and it tastes really well. Biteable. Very good.
Good job of getting this every day.
Almost the end of the meal, because it only takes 5 minutes to make it.
Thank you, Al. That was amazing. And now we're on to dessert, but why not make the dessert a healthier version, right? So my name is Eve Laws, and I'm an in-store registered dietitian for Zehrs and Loblaws. And so I work with people right in the grocery store to make nutritious decisions in the store. So I actually walk around and help people choose healthy foods. And today we're talking about brain health. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have all these great healthy brain foods, and we're gonna put it into a nice dessert. And the dessert we're making is avocado lime chia seed pudding. Has anyone had chia seed pudding before? It's one of my favorites. Chia seeds, they're these little seeds. I don't know if anyone remembers the Chia Pets. you know, chia. So basically these seeds make those microgreens. But what's really good about chia seeds is they're really high in the omega-3 APA. And it has been linked to helping with brain health, right? Because it's got lots of omega-3s. In 1 teaspoon, you get 2 full grams of omega-3, which is pretty well your daily intake. And it's an actual natural thickener for pudding. So I thought, since this is my favorite dessert, I thought I would make it for the group. So the first thing we're going to be adding is avocado. So everyone knows avocados, right? Avocados. Some people call avocados, they call them alligator pears, right? Because they kind of look like an alligator. But what they're really known for is their monounsaturated fats, which are really good for brain health. And they add a nice creaminess to the pudding, but also adding those brain health benefits. So we add 1 avocado into our pudding. The next thing we're going to add is a vanilla skyr yogurt. Has anyone tried skyr yogurt before? Yeah, so skyr yogurt, it's an Icelandic style yogurt, so it actually has a little bit more protein than Greek yogurt, so it's a good option. Today we're going to do vanilla because it's a dessert, but you could always do plain and just add your own maple syrup. So we're going to add 1 cup of the skyr yogurt into our chia seed pudding. Perfect. Next, what we're going to add is our chia seeds, right? They're the star of the show, and they're actually going to make our pudding thick and also add those healthy fats that I was talking about. So we're going to add those in, 1/4 cup, and it doesn't have to be perfect with this. I find it's a foolproof recipe. So for our liquid today, we're going to use coconut milk. It kind of makes it taste like a key lime pudding that way. So any coconut milk you like, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, coconut milk, it's got more of the saturated fats in it, but it's still a good option for a pudding. So we're adding about 1.5 cups. I find with this recipe, you can even add a little bit more. Perfect. So to get our key lime flavor, we're gonna obviously add some nice lime juice. So we have the lime juice of about 2 limes, so that's gonna give some nice freshness to the dish. And a lot of times in Mediterranean cooking, they use a lot of lemon and limes to season their dishes instead of always using salt and pepper and things like that, right? So it's a really good way to add flavor without adding salt. And my favorite thing to do to really enhance the flavor of any dish is actually to use the zest of the limes and the lemons. So one good tip I recommend for people is to actually freeze your leftover lime or lemon zest, right? Because you might be using the juice but don't need the zest, but you can actually take it and put it in the freezer and then use it for a dish later on. So I really like just putting it in. It's best, you want as much the green and you want to stay away from the whites as much as possible. All right, and the recipe asks for a teaspoon, but as I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Perfect. And that's gonna really kind of awaken the dish. It has a nice citrus flavor, very fresh, really good for summertime. All right, perfect. Now the recipe does call for a little bit of honey. It's not mandatory, but because of the avocado, it's more of a savory, right? So we're just gonna add a little bit in, but of course you don't have to add it if you don't think you need it. The recipe calls for 1/4 cup, but I find it doesn't need that much, so I'm just gonna do about 1/8 cup, and you can just kind of eyeball it. Perfect. All right. So as you can see, it's a little bit more of a liquid, and that's because the chia seeds, it takes about an hour for them to expand, right? So we're gonna blend it up, and it still might not be the perfect consistency, but in an hour time, it will thicken up, and I'll show you what it looks like after. Perfect. So we're just gonna turn this on, and you can just turn it to a blend. Perfect. Now, as you can see, it is still a little bit liquidy, but in an hour, those lovely chia seeds actually expand, and that's where you're going to get a lot of your omega-3s. So it's almost at the perfect consistency, but in about 1 to 2 hours, it'll be perfectly thick. If after 1 to 2 hours you notice it's not quite as thick as you'd like, you can always add either more skyr yogurt or more chia seeds. Perfect. And as Al mentioned, it's really important presentation, right? Because we eat with our eyes first, and a lot of the garnish can actually be healthy ingredients. So this is kind of what it looks like once it's sat for about an hour. You see how it's a lot more thicker? Very good. And then what we do is just the little extra yogurt you have, just dollop it on, right? It's almost a substitute for whipped cream. And then on top, we're using organic pumpkin seeds. They're roasted, and I really like pumpkin seeds because they're high in magnesium. And magnesium is really good for muscle, DNA repair, and it's definitely good for protein as well. It's not super high, but it's still a way to add the crunch with actually adding nutrition as well. Yeah, so it's super good. I'm just gonna taste it, see if it's my stamp of approval. It's good because it's like lime, but then it gets the crunch with the pumpkin seeds. So yeah, we have samples for everyone. So I'll just pass that out now. The summer dessert.
It looks so yummy.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you. Good. Never ate anything like this. It's so yummy.
That's really lovely, I must admit. I'm surprised. Lovely.
Very nice. Very Mediterranean. Nice lime flavor and other flavors. Very, very good. Good for senior citizens.
It's very good. I really enjoyed it. Good. And protein.
There you go.
So the Alzheimer Society is located in Barrie. Our head office is in Barrie. We do have a satellite office in Aurelia, and we offer programs and services throughout all communities in Simcoe County, which is a big area. So that includes education programs for families and public education, as well as support services. So support groups, support for families, people living with dementia. We offer also counseling services to help people navigate the healthcare system, and we have a lot of resources available that people can access online and also in the office as well. We know that as we get older, there's a greater chance that people won't eat as well, partly because they may be isolated. They may not be cooking for other people, they may just be cooking for one. So There's lots of challenges that come into play, but we do encourage people, regardless of their age, to take good care of their brain by eating well and having a balanced diet, and just making good choices. And a lot of that comes down to planning and being educated and taking learning opportunities like what's being offered today.